What's up, guys? Today on Sports Central, we're going to be going over a college football game preview over the 2019 Citrus Bowl between number 14 Michigan and 13 Alabama. And this is a really interesting game here. Of course, I feel like Alabama shouldn't even be in this game. I think Alabama's a little bit underrated, honestly, at this point. And usually that's a statement you typically don't hear. But I think the College Football Playoff Committee is kind of down Alabama. I mean, most of us are like, yeah, that's fine. Alabama can be ranked outside the top 10. But let's be honest, Alabama is not. They are a top 10 team, no doubt. But for Michigan, this is a big game for them. Of course, it's been a pretty decent season. It could have been better, but it's still been a good year. This would be a great win to top it off. Previous game for both these teams. Michigan lost to number 1 Ohio State, 27-56. That was a tough loss there. And Alabama lost to 15 Auburn. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that loss to Auburn, that's only by 3. That's not a bad loss nearly at all. So it really surprises me that they put Alabama down so far. Here's some key stats from those games. Michigan had Shea Patterson, of course, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Pretty decent game for him there. And then Alabama had Mac Jones, who is their quarterback, taking over for Tua, who is injured right now. 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So if both quarterbacks can drop the interceptions, that would be a huge help, especially in this game. This game is going to be on Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern Time in Orlando, Florida. Spread currently says Alabama by 7. ESPN FPI is also saying Alabama 68%, and then Vegas is saying a 15-point win by Alabama, 42-27. Here's your stat comparison as well for this one. Michigan has 33 points per game, 19.5 points allowed per game, so they do have a pretty good defense. Total pass yards, 252. Total rush yards, 149, so they're more of a passing team. Then as far as yards allowed go, they allow 173 pass yards and 119 rush yards. As for Alabama, they're a little bit different, 48.3 points per game. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't understand how you put a team in the SEC with 48 points a game at ranking 13. That doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, 18.8 points allowed per game, so they got a pretty good defense as well. Total pass yards, 343. Big passing team, but especially, I mean, the thing is that with having Mac Jones under center instead of Tua, that could be a little bit different. So this could be more of a rushing team than a passing team. But then again, they did use Mac Jones for about 335 yards in their game against Auburn. So I don't think anything's going to change there. As far as yards allowed go, 183 pass yards and 135 rush yards for Alabama. Record-wise, Michigan is 9-3. Alabama is 10-2. Pretty tough games for both these teams. Both teams had losses in their previous ones. Michigan lost to Ohio State once again. They did beat Indiana 39-14. That is a really good win. I mean, let's be real here. Indiana has been a much better team than how they've been in the past. I think they've got either 6 or 7 wins this season. That is really good for Indiana. They also beat up Michigan State 44-10, beat up Maryland 38-7, and also had a really good win against Notre Dame, a team that was in the top 10 at the time, 45-14. So overall, I mean, aside from the Ohio State game, this Michigan team has been playing extremely well. You got to look at the rest of their schedule in order to be able to see that. But yeah, this Michigan team is for real. As for Alabama, they lost to Auburn. They did beat Western Carolina 66-3, beat Mississippi State 30-7. They lost to LSU, number 2 team in the nation at the time, 41-46. That was a brutal game for them to lose. Then they beat up Arkansas 48-7. So overall, both teams are doing pretty well coming into this game, aside from the losses in their previous games. Some key points for this one. Alabama easily has more talent, no doubt. I mean, they definitely get better recruiting. And, I mean, I feel that this is a big motivation thing especially. Michigan will be more motivated, I think, in my opinion. I mean, Alabama might be a little bit disappointed that they did not get in a better bowl game than the Citrus Bowl. And don't get me wrong, the Citrus Bowl is a pretty good bowl game, but they were hoping for much more this season. So it will be motivation for Alabama whether they win this game or not. Alabama, though, they don't have much momentum, no doubt. I mean, they did lose to LSU a few weeks ago as well, so you got to consider that. But some players will sit out for the draft as well for Alabama. I mean, you're going to have a couple from Michigan, but there's more from Alabama that are going to be sitting out. So that could make an impact in this game, no doubt. Alabama all around, though, is a better team. I mean, we got to be honest with that. Michigan is a great team, but Alabama, they've been much better, and they're much better than a 13 ranking. That is what I do know for sure. I mean, that's being unbiased. I'm not an Alabama fan. Well, I mean, Alabama is just a really good team, and they still are a really good team this year. I don't know why the College Football Playoff Committee, though. I kind of want an explanation as to why they're ranked outside the top 10. But how would each team win in this situation? I think if Michigan can stick with Alabama, I think Alabama's going to come out fast. If Michigan can just stay with them and hang out towards the end, I think Michigan's got a chance to win this thing. But Alabama's going to get it in the end. I think your halftime score, 20-17 Alabama. They're going to start quick, and Michigan's going to try to hang on. I think they hang on for most of the first half, to be honest. But in the second half, I think Alabama, I don't think motivation is going to be an issue here. I think Alabama will be motivated. They're going to want to show why they're better than where they probably feel disrespected, to be honest. I mean, who wouldn't if you're Alabama in this situation? Be our final score 45-31. I think we're going to see a more high-scoring one here, of course, with Alabama averaging like 48 points a game and Michigan averaging over 30. No doubt, I think it'll be more of a high-scoring game. Alabama ends up winning by 2 touchdowns, 45-31. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments below, though. Do you think Michigan can pull the upset? If Michigan pulls an upset here, I think that's probably going to be one of your bigger upsets of the bowl season. I mean, I know both teams are like ranked about evenly, but Alabama is honestly favored quite a bit here. I think they're up 7 in the spread right now. So this would be a huge upset if Michigan won, and especially for Alabama, man, that would be pretty devastating to take 3 losses in a season. I think it's been a while since they've taken 3 losses in a year. But nonetheless, yeah, once again, let me know your score predictions in the comments below. I'd like to hear those. Thank you all for watching once again. Stay tuned for more bowl previews, and I will see you all later.